back at the cabin and we're ready to get things done because it's getting cold and I'm 28 days behind because of my hunting trip. But that's okay, there's meat in the freezer, and that's just part of homesteading and building your own property. You have to have meat in the freezer. But let's get into this. Like I said, when I built the cabin, I'm gonna teach you guys how to do stone, or at least show you. But what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you the complete process from start to finish, everything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a couple of minutes right now and explain to you how I'm gonna do this, because this is not your typical stud house, so there's a couple extra steps that I need to do. For starters, as you can see, I've laid it out with the green tape. So anything in this area here, stone, stone. I have another project, very cool project besides this one, that's gonna be coming in here. And as you can see down on the floor, I've taped it out, and this is where the stove is gonna sit. And the reason I did this, I have a lot of codes that I have to meet and stay within the regulations. So I'll get into that later. And you can see on the floor, I have this stone. This one here, it's pretty black, it's wet, okay? And then I have this stone. These stones are going on the wall, the big pieces down there. In this area, right here, and on the floor, I'm going to be putting plywood. You ask why. So I've been waiting a while to do the stone because I've needed everything to shrink and settle. Right now we're at about 1/2 inch. The manufacturer says this should shrink up to 3/4 of an inch. So what I'm gonna do, and this was my plan from the beginning, put the plywood on here with screws. So if it does settle, the screws will tweak a little bit and not damage my stone, because once I put the stone on, it does not move. It will just crack. So that's the plan with that. Now, I'm going to be adding a pony wall here. And the reason for that is I don't have a lot of counter space there. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take the counter space here and then I'm gonna return it out to here. That's approximately from here to here, 3 feet. And so the stone will continue on the back of this. All right, guys, pony wall is built. It's pretty strong. I'm probably gonna add one more here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it this way. Probably, just for a little bit of strength. I do have a piece left over. What the heck, right? And then the plywood is gonna come across here, and that'll really tie things in and down to the floor. So, but this is solid. I'm gonna get one more for here, and then we're gonna start putting the plywood on. Okay guys, it is about, it's 8 o'clock. I had to run to town, but before I went to town, I cut all the plywood and we are ready to go. What I want to do tonight is I want to get the plywood on, get it all sorted out. This way tomorrow we can put the wire mesh on and purge this and get ready for stone. Makes tomorrow very easy. The only thing that I haven't cut is the hearth plywood. We're gonna put a screw here, screw here, screw here, screw here, screw here. This is gonna tighten this wall up huge. Holy cow. Yep, fits. Unbelievable. Good, let's get going. Let's get this screwed in. I'm gonna try to get a screw, at least a couple screws in each board. That's it. The plywood is in, and I am still amazed that I made that cut in one go. Amazing. You gotta get lucky once in a while, I guess. So tomorrow, put the wire mesh on. Actually, sorry, first, I'm gonna cut all the plywood for the hearth. Why I wanna put that plywood down first, because once I start purging and stuff, the mortar is gonna get everywhere, and it is an absolute disaster to clean up after the fact. So once I get this down, then I don't care if I make a mess on it, because there's gonna be wire mesh going to that, on top of that too, and then we're gonna purge it, and the same thing, we're gonna stick the stone down to the wire mesh. Okay, if I have a stone like this, and then I can take another nice stone similar to this, and I can stick it out, something like that, for a nice little shelf. I don't know, we'll see. I'm not too sure on that. Anyway, we'll get it figured out. So, with all this being said, guys, we'll see you first thing tomorrow morning. Okay, good morning, guys. I just finished marking out where I want the plywood to go. I'll take you down and show you. There's a bit of a plan here, and I'll show you why. This is the corner of the pony wall, and then we're gonna come out here off of this wall to this junction, which is, I think 2 feet. I determined that when I laid out the stove and my distances. So, but what I want to do, you'll see a secondary line. I want the plywood to come to here, because the face of the stone is going to come here, and then we're going to have to fill in from the bottom of the floor to the underside of the stone. So probably what we'll do is we'll use mortar and caulking. So I've already marked it on plywood. I'll show you. We're going to cut it, and maybe we'll get lucky twice and only have to cut it once. Okay guys, I'm off. Okay, so in the front, we're good. We got our space. We come down here, we're okay, a little bit off. But down here, we're not. Didn't get lucky this time. Let's mark it and cut it and move on. Okay, there you have it, guys. Done deal. Perfect. One more piece to go. Everything is done inside. We now need to move forward and get into the masonry end of it. Exciting, because that's what I really enjoy. So before we put stone on, we have to wire mesh, and we also have to put the purge on and let it dry. So here are the tools that I use to do this. Now, if you were to do this at home, you probably wouldn't need the compressor, and you might need a drill, or you could actually do it by hand in a wheelbarrow. But I'll show you that and explain it to you. So right here we have my compressor with my line and my coil nailer. This takes, which are 1.25" roofing nails. Now, if you were going to do a small job at home, you would just go to your hardware store and buy 1.25" nails, not on a coiler, and you'd nail in the mesh. Okay, so this is my drill and my paddle. That fits into a 5-gallon pail. We'll plug it into the Blue Eddy and we'll power it up, and that'll mix our mortar. Now, you don't have to do that. If you have a wheelbarrow, you can actually mix this stuff by hand. I don't, because I do lots of it. So let's head over to the table. Okay guys, my recommendation, you always wear hearing protection. These are the staples and my staple gun. I'll show you what I use that for in a second. I have a hammer, I have snips, I have grinder with a metal cutting blade, more nails, my trowels. So there's my regular masonry trowel, this one, and there's my purging trowel. Okay, so this is the wire mesh, guys. They are 2 feet wide by 8 feet long. So we're over at my sand pile. It's covered, keeping the dirt out, sort of, and trying to keep the water off it. It is a little wet, but that's okay. So what you need is a couple clean pails. These have been used lots. I do wash them out, and there you go. Now, and we have our Type S powder. It's very simple. It's a 3-to-1 ratio. 3 shovelfuls of sand to 1 shovelful of masonry. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3. That was a little light. Add a little bit more. So there you go. And that's about 3/4 of a pail. Now we take this. So if you noticed, that shovelful was a little bit light, so we're gonna add a little bit more to make sure it was a full shovel. There you have it. So what we'll do, I'll fill up the other one, we'll head over and we'll mix it up. One thing, when you're mixing this stuff, my suggestion is wear safety glasses. It splashes up, well, it's not gonna be pleasant. So my experience is, in a 5-gallon pail, you probably want to go about 4 inches. Now, yeah, that's good enough for now. You can always add more. This sand is a little bit wet, so could cause a problem. But this is going to set for a few minutes while we put the mesh on, and we want it a little bit wet anyway. So put your foot up here, just go slow. Oh yeah, it's gonna be way too wet. Way too wet. Holy cow. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna add a slight touch of water to this. Just a splash. Do the same thing and see what we get. So we're gonna do this and add it to there. What we're gonna do now, it's gonna take me at least 15-20 minutes to get all the mesh on, maybe even more, half an hour. So that's gonna get really hard. That may stiffen up close to what we needed. So then I can just keep mixing the two together and probably end up with a pretty good result. Let's get in and get the mesh on the wall. Okay guys, let's start cutting the mesh. I just measured. I need this to be 88 inches. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut 2 at a time. If you don't have a grinder, everybody uses snips. So you can easily cut this stuff with snips. Same thing. I just prefer the grinder. It's a little bit faster. But the measurement's 88. So I'm gonna go 87.5. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna figure out all the pieces, and I'll show you once we're inside what we're gonna do. What I'm gonna do first, now, I'm gonna take my stapler and I'm gonna staple this on there. This way, I can get it on nice and even and get it nice and flat. So the key to putting mesh on is get it flat as possible because you don't want bulges in it when you go to purge. There, so come down here. I'm gonna be honest with you. This stuff is nasty. It's sharp, it just gets caught in everything. Truthfully, this is the worst part of the job. I hate the wire mesh. Okay guys, compressor's filling up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get the nails in there. Get this done up. Okay guys, it's nailed in. Now, there's a few here I'll show you. The compressor got a little low on air, so they're sticking out a little bit. So I just come along, check it, hammer them in, just in here, and we're nice and tight. A couple little spots right here. I'm not happy about that. So I'll just get a couple loose nails. I'll just break a couple nails off here. roll, and I'll just stuff them in, right? Perfect. Other than that, we're ready for purge. So let's head outside and see how our mud's making out. All right, guys, let's check out and see how our mortar is. Oh, it's actually not bad. All right, it's a little stiff. Little stiff. See that? If the mortar stays on, which is not bad, slides off a little bit, you have a pretty good mix. There we go. Should have tapped it a little bit more. But this is a little bit stiff. So we'll just take some of this and add it in there. Okay, guys, I'm pretty happy with that now. Let's just do our little trick. Beauty. See that? Nice, eh? Okay, guys, what we have is a purging trowel, my regular trowel. Now, some people use Hawks. I don't. So what I do, make sure my mud is nice. Just take a little bit like this. I go like this. And then I go over to the wall and I just come up like this. That's it. It's that simple. Try not to spill it. Remember I said I make a mess? Well, I certainly do. But that's okay. That's what it's all about. So just keep going. Repeating the process. Okay guys, we're almost done here. So I had to go make a couple more pails. This is probably the best batch out of the day. You just grab it, throw it on, go up. Don't worry about making a mess. Just get it on, smooth it out, and that's it. Just a little bit at a time on the corner. Yeah, this stuff is nice and creamy. Just keep plugging away. Up, up. Smooth it out. And off to the races. Also, guys, I want to mention something. If this was an outside wall, I would put tar paper behind it. It's called building paper, tar paper, and a 32-minute. That's fire rating. It has a 32-minute fire rating. Since we're inside, we don't need it. There you have it. Okay, I'm gonna go around, smooth everything out, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, well, we had a casualty. My purging trowel broke. Time for a new one. That's it. The purging, the mesh, the prep is done. It is now time to get the stone in this wall, and I'm excited because the minute the stone is on this wall, I'm going to take you over and I'm going to show you everything else that I have here that's ready to go. But like I was saying, the second this stone is done, the next day, the stove's going in. Very excited for that because it is getting cold here. I know I've been off hunting and we've been doing lots of stuff outside, but I have been accumulating stuff for in here. I'm basically ready for the plumbing, electrical, countertops. We got a ton of stuff to do still. But the big thing is, let's get the heat in here so we can work comfortably. And I want to show you something. This is why I do not do the hearth stone first. So imagine if I had this stone down here, you know, of course you cover it, but man, it's a disaster. I don't understand. There's a lot of masons out there that do that. Whatever, it's everybody's opinion to do whatever they want. This is the way I do it. Once the walls are done, everything's cleaned, I'll sweep this floor out, we'll put the mesh down, we'll purge it up, we'll lay the stone, off to the races. So let's take a second, have a look around the cabin. I'll show you all the stuff that I have that's ready to go. And it's all gonna come together just like that. What you can see, these are the inside pipes. This is a special pipe. You know, once I've cleaned the pipe, I can come down, lift this up, clean out the stove, and put it back. So that is here. The other piece of pipe, this piece of pipe is here as well. We have our through-wall kit. Okay, so this is the sleeve that goes over that. That's basically this part right here. That's this kit. And then we have the double-lined pieces for outside. Also, I've managed to pick up a kitchen sink. This is out of an RV. I wanted a little spot on the side just for cleaning fruits and vegetables and stuff. This will be there. And as you can see, once we get in there, there's not a lot of space because we have to put a propane burning stove in here. And I don't have that yet, but it's on the way. So for the bathroom, sorry, it's upside down. So we have our vanity with our little sink and we have our taps. Also, we have the lights for the rest of the cabin. Let's go into the bathroom. So we have our toilet. That's ready to go. And that's basically going right there. And for above the sink, we have that, which is fantastic. And of course, we have the fridge ready to go. All right, guys, I'm gonna end the video here. So next week, the install, and we're gonna finish it start to finish, the stone. Done. Then the stove. Anyway, I have a huge, huge announcement in next week's video for something that's gonna happen here. I had to take a trip, pick up a package, and we will reveal that next week. We're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.